Hello and welcome to Tarikia. This is Dresden's Tale, episode 43, chapter 41 of volume 2. This is the show where we follow Dresden Fane, grumpy, hard to know, and known by few. Our story exists in the violence of the Celt culture, where friends and lovers flash like lightning in the turbulence. I'm your guide through this magical land, Lewis Nichols. Did you know Dresden isn't within the fantasy genre? For that to be true, you'd need a plot and a fair share more detail. I'd be going lighter on the exposition and heavier on modern storytelling. There'd be a crisis to overcome in every episode and stunning set pieces of flashy fable. I've been thinking about this for a long time. Maybe you've even heard of me refer to Dresden as a kind of military fiction. That's true to an extent. We're more worried about pivotal moments than deep dives. We're here about the action, right? Or are we? We're also into exploring social issues and economics. We like getting into the personal decisions in the face of moral obscurity. We want to see what happens when faith, self-interest, love, greed, and friendship collide. I mean, there is character building here. We all want to see Dresden grow, and there's at least some curiosity about the others, too. What about Haspern and his dock workers? What about Leith's adventuring buddies? Her death was a blow to more people than just Dresden. I'll tell you something else we do here. We grow. This isn't the end of an empire story where things are constantly getting worse. We're in on the beginning. Things are only going to get better from here. Better for the bad guys, that is. We're optimists. Culture squashing, religiously intolerant, might makes right optimists. Well, whatever we are, we're doing it in the spring. It's the 14th day of Ebba, 2052 years after the fall. I told the villagers you were afraid of them. Dresden tossed his pack to his companion and stepped clumsily into the dugout. Orn grabbed for the sides to still himself, panic rising. Water splashed in, soaking his feet. Just as it looked like Dresden would either go overboard or cause the whole thing to capsize, he plopped into a seat. With the center of gravity dropped low, the experienced oarsman easily brought the boat under control. We all had a good laugh about it, but I see they gave you a bundle too. Nice people. Glad they didn't eat us. I suppose they're wonderful. Dresden looked around. Where's Sophia? The Tagara pointed. She said I wasn't turning out to be as promising as she'd first hoped. The lead boat was drifting into the current. Situated toward its front was his former girlfriend, sitting suspiciously close to a human from the road. Dresden felt bad for him. Well, at least it'll save you the pain of her dying on you. I knew you'd be a big fucking help. Seriously, she talked down to you a lot. Why would you want that anyway? He asked his friend, then thought to himself, had Leith been the same? No, she respected me. She was just a stronger warrior. What else could I have expected? He looked back at his friend. I think being in a relationship like that means being prepared to take a lot of shit. Orn snarled. What? You're supposed to be some kind of expert now? Just trying to help. Sophia was kind of a bitch. She wasn't like Leith at all. My perfect love. Maybe those moments had indeed been a gift. Her soft voice, the touch of her skin. Hey! The water splashed across his back. I'm not in the mood to be fucked with today, Orn threatened. Don't think I'll forget that. Damn, I wish my friends were here. I thought I was your friend. Dresden grunted scornfully. I mean my real friends. Not someone stuck with me because his girlfriend ran off. Shut up! The head oarsman stood like a giant at the prow. Another word for either of you and I'll toss you both to the crocodiles. Dresden believed him, and Orn did too. They'd soon be on Vool. More distance, more time, and the pain would lessen. But did he want it to? The pain was her memory, and he didn't want to lose that. He decided to carry her name as a war cry, like he'd heard other warriors do. What better way to spur my anger and aggression to remember my one true love ripped away from me? Dresden lost himself in thought. He'd heard Vool was hot and it never rained. He doubted it was that extreme. After Odessa, how hot could it be? The Itarians were rumored to number in the tens of thousands. He and his fellow Kells would be outnumbered. But no one made a name for themselves by outnumbering their opponents. Estimating an hour had passed, he chanced a quiet question. What does an Itarian look like? Don't know, a human behind Orn answered. I'll tell you after I kill my first one. In the stories, it seems like they're always human, minotaur, dwarf, or monkey. Pretty much like us, but no Tagara. The rear oarsman spoke up. My father once described them as square-faced, with big heads. Their priests can turn into wolves and bears. Ha ha, your dad is full of shit, the head oarsman laughed. But they'll be a deadly foe just the same, not like a horde of walking lizards. The conversation worked its way up and down the boat. No one was certain of anything, but a few things were considered more likely than others. Their dwarves were known for egg-shaped heads and were always warriors versed in the martial skills, just as the Minotaur. Humans were their only priests, though a few swore elves might be as well. That left their masters of Ziblich, which no one knew much about, except that they definitely had them. A divided society can be exploited, Orn said. The captain let go a powerful grunt. Perhaps if you travel to their homeland, you'll be fighting soldiers in an enemy force. I suppose you might try diplomacy if you wish. Everyone had another good laugh at Orn's expense. Hours slipped by as they rode the smooth river farther and farther into civilization. They passed great swaths of clear-cut forest and scars where miners ripped away the hills to get at the wealth below. Fishing camps were so abundant, the travelers worried their way would once again be blocked by the extra traffic. Dresden, you deaf bastard! Turning, he glared at the rear oarsman and found him pointing toward the shore. Straining his vision, he could just make out a small group of travelers. A pterodon among them was screeching, Little Nanok! Ralph? Dresden mumbled. His old friend wasn't alone. His chest seized. The last thing I need is that bunch to ruin this. Why can't everybody just let me be? Don't know him. Keep going, he told the head oarsman. A pterodon, a human, a minotaur, and an Aquirta all standing. That looks like a bad joke, but I'll put in for you. No, seriously, I'm fine. All they need is a dwarf and a Tagara, and you're definitely getting off. I need the quiet. For a second, Dresden considered holding on to his seat and making them drag him off, but someone snatched his pack and threw it at the Minotaur. Well then, so much for making progress upriver. Thanks for nothing. Dresden didn't bother with introducing Orn and approached the quartet. Karen, bringer of death. She surprised him by bending low and giving him a rough squeeze. The mongrel slayer himself. We never would have known it was you if Eagle Eye and Mouse Hunter here wouldn't have spotted you. Glad I did. Ralph took his hand and shook it after Dresden dodged another attempted hug. Donald acted like he wanted one too, but Dresden kept him at arm's length. Fucking Tianist. Fucking Kraganist. Then it was the Minotaur's turn. As soon as he faced her, Liz lifted him in the air and spun him around. Last I knew you were working the docks in Georgetown. How did you get on a canoe heading downstream in Tarikia? Dresden was thankful when she got him back to the ground. Looking for war, same as you, I suppose. Are you with Larafin? They looked at each other, each daring the other to tell the story. Karen shrugged. We're not exactly with the militia. Ralph smiled. But we're not exactly not either. Now, who's this? His name is Orn. I guess he's with us now. I've been with you the whole time on the river. Of course I'm with you. Karen smiled. It's okay, we understand. Dresden can be a real pain in the ass. Yet somehow you're all here, yelling at the boatman until he's annoyed enough to put us to shore. Seemed like he was pretty eager to get rid of you, Donald observed. Because of him, Dresden pointed at Orrin. His woman just left him this morning, and he's done nothing but complain. I'm sure that's it. Can we get moving? Donald seemed worried. There'll be time enough to explain on the road. Well, hee-haw, the gang is back together. The whole pile of them. Oh, happy days are here. I wonder what they've been into. Time enough to explain on the road? Must be something good. Who have you missed the most? I wonder if any of them are going to get any special character development. I wonder if they're just here to give me somebody to kill. Don't worry. I'd never kill a beloved character any more than I would abandon one. All right. Maybe I ought to give up while I'm ahead. Just be sure to join us for next time. Hit the subscribe button, all the good stuff. We're at a full ensemble cast. Super duper top notch voice acting imminent. But for now, that's it. Thanks for stopping by, my fellow adventurers. You didn't have to listen, but you did, and I appreciate that. I'm Lewis Nichols, and I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day.